We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin, where you come to wise up on crypto. I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ryan.
And what a beautiful Monday. Happy Moon Day. It seems that every time we find you, let me get off this screen. It seems like every week, we get to celebrate a new Ethereum all-time high today. Is that not what just happened?
That is correct. Yep. Beautiful time to be in crypto.
Beautiful time to be in crypto. And for all of you who are new to crypto and came in on Dogecoin, well,
well,
it depends when you came in. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Dogecoin had a major correction. That's on the topic. So what happened with Dogecoin? Dogecoin has been pumping up for weeks
Before
now.
we get into that, you want to do a little talk about ETH and kind of the new levels we hit? We touched 42, right above 4,200, 42 like 13. I looked
Broke
like
4,000.
Yeah. So I mean that's significant, right?
Huge.
I mean, I feel like just not too long ago, what was it? A few days ago, we were talking about how we just got into the 3,000 zone, and that was like massive. And now here we are at 4,000. So it's just
Well, there we go.
very exciting.
You're looking at some parabolic moves. Well, a 30% jump in Ethereum, and we're sitting at 4,000. Well, these are just numbers, but let's look at value and let's look at where do we think Ethereum, can Ethereum go up from here? Should it go up from here?
Right.
None of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is just educational information. We're all new to cryptocurrency, this new tech, and value itself is all subjective. So where is it going to be in the future? We don't know. That being said, ceteris paribus, it feels to me that Ethereum is just beginning to really get wings and take off. And I say that because, as we've mentioned in the past, Ethereum hasn't caught up to the Bitcoin's tripling of its previous all-time highs.
Right.
Bitcoin surpassed from 20,000 to 60,000, and Ethereum's previous all-time highs around 1,500. Well, that would put you at a $4,500 Ethereum, roughly. And we're just now getting close to that. But in reality, if we really, whether you talk about Ethereum, Uniswap, decentralized exchanges, DeFi protocols like Wise Token and others out there, the reality, or Aave, you've got Aave, there's so many protocols, but I'm going to the DeFi Pulse, Ryan, because I just want the idea of
Check it out.
what's going on. Why is Ethereum now hitting all-time highs? Why is it now breaking 4,000? And do we
Right.
expect it to go further? I really feel that Ethereum, a $10,000 Ethereum by the end of this year is modest. That's my feeling. I really feel
Yes.
that a $10,000. And why? Well, I was talking to someone just the other day who's just now getting into crypto, but is very, very familiar with traditional finance. Very, very familiar with traditional finance. And when you look at what you can do with Ethereum, in traditional finance, you find Tesla, you find Apple, you talk to a broker, you find times when the market's open, when you can trade, right? You can't buy a
Right.
portion of a stock. You have to be able to afford the whole share, which is why they
Right.
do stock splits. But in crypto, you don't have to be able to afford a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a portion of an Ethereum, whatever amount you can afford, you can acquire. And what can you do with Ethereum? Well, you can take your Ethereum out of the traditional finance. You take your energy out of traditional finance, take it into this decentralized finance world built on the Ethereum blockchain, and look at the billions, $83 billion locked in decentralized finance applications. Lending, you can get loans, you can offer yours for loans, so you can earn interest on it, and of course the decentralized exchanges. So, really for me, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Visa, Mastercard, talking about USDC as a form of payment, which is on the Ethereum network. So we're really looking at a lot of collaboration, a lot of adoption and use on Ethereum. It's really, for me, it's the beginning, and I just don't see how it can stay this low. For me, it feels like it's kind of being kept down, and and soon enough it's gonna rip roar a lot
Well, I
higher.
think I think the anticipation of the EIP 1559 update is in the deflationary tokenomics that makes possible. I think that's also feeding into this, as well as what you're saying with all the different ERC 20 DeFi projects and opportunities. But that's the the big picture. But I think the short, and you zoom in on what's happening today. Why today? Why this week? Why from 3 to 4 in the span of a few days? I think a lot of that is the realization that, well, the tokenomics are changing. The gas fees, while they might not go down to be to completely solve the problem with transaction fees will probably continue. They're still going to be probably low. We anticipate them to go lower. So there's a lot of just short term bullish sentiment surrounding that upgrade, and I think that's playing into this. And as well as people just realizing that the more they get it, the more you get Doge, you buy Bitcoin, you realize what those are about, and then you come to the understanding that, okay, they don't really accomplish anything. I can't stake these. There's not a bond involved here. There's no lending. There's no collateral lending. They're complete, but they're not. But they're still complete. They're too simple.
Right.
If you really want to make it, if you want to get down to the fast tax, they're not interesting. And so, but then you look at ETH, and it's the first of the smart contract, blockchain platforms. It was the numero uno to come up with that idea. Now, you have Cardano, and there's a bunch of imitators that are trying to innovate and add value, and there's room for all of them, I believe, for most. But it doesn't change the fact that ETH was the first to come up with this idea. And there's a first mover advantage. There's network effects. There's all those concepts from economics that kind of shore up the first movers and put them in a dominant position. And I think that's going to play out with ETH continue to, even with the fact that the transaction costs are what they are.
I agree. And they're also coming up with layer solutions in the meantime, like Matic and others, so to help defray those costs. But like, what you were saying earlier, that EIP 1599 having that deflationary on the supply, well, as we know, Ethereum also eventually moving to proof of stake is going to be another deflationary on the supply. And I don't know if it was Hayden from Uniswap or someone else that I had read, but I think we might have talked about this a couple streams ago, but they were saying basically a lot of these deflationary supply shocks are not priced in to Ethereum yet. Like, people still have not really seen that the Ethereum supply is about to really take some shocks that are going to be positive to the price.
Very much.
Ceteris paribus. So, but here we go. So right below Ethereum, of course, you've got below Binance Coin, which is huge. Look, I was listening to, of course, the biggest crypto channel in all of the crypto webs is BitBoy, and the work that he puts in is just huge. And he was talking earlier, look at how close what it would take for Ethereum to flip in Bitcoin. I mean, you're literally talking about just over a 2x. It was 2.1 when he was talking about, but you're looking at just over a 2x. And is that something that I could see Ethereum doing before absolutely. I almost would see it, even if like Bitcoin goes to 100K, right? I could still see Ethereum, overtaking that in time. I would be surprised if Ethereum does not overtake Bitcoin before the year's over with.
Wow. That's a bold. Well, you heard it here, folks. That's a bold claim.
I don't mind being wrong, but I'd be impressed. I expect it to happen, and I love Bitcoin. I'm a huge proponent of Bitcoin. For what it is and being the first and really leading all of crypto markets, because it's the proof. It's the proof of concept that all the market hinges upon. We have the whole market because of Bitcoin. However, I can also see the value in the use of other networks being so much greater that it's almost like it's a denomination, as it already is. Things are priced in Bitcoin, and things can still be priced in Bitcoin.
It becomes a numeraire more than a medium of exchange.
Exactly. In fact, you already hear people in traditional finance, they're talking about, they're calling it a store of value.
Right.
Which is, it's not a function for money. We need store value, medium of exchange, and unit of account. And people are saying, well, Bitcoin's not going to be a unit, a medium of exchange.
Right.
But it can be these other things.
That could be true. That might be right.
But that would make it a perfect numeraire, like you were saying, by serving those other two functions in a stable way.
And then a third, other projects can serve, Litecoin or whatever.
Many other projects can serve as mediums of exchange, which we'll talk about it again. But we are huge proponents of competition and rich marketplaces filled with diverse competition. Diverse choices and varieties.
And on that note, let's segue into Dogecoin.
Okay, let's do it because I was just going to get there. Good call. Look at that 20% drop. Now, look, that doesn't mean anything because if you've been in crypto, just as much as you see those three X's, those 300, percent moves, you also see 80%, 60%, 50%, 30% drops. So that's normal and that's nothing. However, look, Dogecoin definitely has been correcting since Saturday Night Live's Elon Musk appearance. Is that right? Would you say?
That's the word on the street. Yeah.
Hey, quick question, real quick, Ryan. I don't know if you're able on your computer, but could you forward Jacob? Could you send him the email of our Zoom meeting invitation?
Yeah, I can do that right now.
Cool. All right.
I don't know if I have Jacob's email.
It should be in the group email in the Wise Beyond Bitcoin. If you go back in there with a group, just
figure it out from there.
Do that because if I do it, it's going to take everyone on the stream all over the email process trying to find it. And if you can do it on the backdrop, so Jacob will be joining us. One of our favorite regular occurring special guests will continue. I think he'll have a channel coming up pretty soon. We've fallen behind our work, but we are still plugging away and have exciting things to share with crypto education and DeFi. And I know that Jacob's been doing a lot with that and his partner too. So. It's just a beautiful year for crypto. It's a beautiful year for learning and education and growing, and for those who love knowledge, because that's really what cryptocurrency is. It's new technology. It's a new use of technology that allows for more ethical, harmonious, efficient communication in many ways. So by saying trustless, when people say trustless, it's not because it's without trust. It's because the protocol is so solid that you do not have to rely upon trust. It removes that weakness, that point of failure where you have to count on trust. So that's a beautiful use of technology to remove that human error aspect out of it. And that's why we can see these markets just exploding. So hopefully Jake will be joining soon, but let's get back into Doge. So your thoughts on the Doge?
Okay, yeah. So my understanding is Elon went on Saturday Night Live and called it a hustle, and I don't know if that was. I believe it was part of a skit, the Weekend Update. I want to say it was a Weekend Update interview or something. He was playing like a financial advisor. And more or less got him to admit that it was a hustle. And he's like, yeah, it is. So, yeah, the big cheerleader went and just did a 180. So yeah, there's been a sell-off as a result. I think I want to say the very first movement down was pretty big. It's 20% down for the day today, but I'll get back to you on it. But I want to say it was significantly bigger than that.
Yeah, no, it was. It was. It's been down. I think it's got to be down almost 40, close to 40 to 50% from its all-time high recently.
Right.
What's up, Jacob? What's going on, brother?
I got it on.
Rock on, man. It worked. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yes. Good to have you on.
I don't know if there's a lag you can hear. Can you hear us, brother?
What's up?
So we're down 42% on Doge.
Let me do one thing. There we go. Now I got the audio fixed.
All right, cool. Rock on. Yeah, we're just pounding through it. Welcome. Glad to have you back on, brother. And we're just catching up on the week in crypto. We were just now getting into Elon Musk, coming out. You know what's so fun? It is pretty funny that Elon has been tweeting and pumping all these people for people who really put a lot of work and effort into crypto education, they've pretty much said, look, Dogecoin it's called a meme coin, a joke coin. The technology is not superior to many other that are out there. So if you're getting into crypto, don't put all your eggs in that basket. I mean, don't put all your eggs in any basket, but absolutely that's not one to look at taking over the whole financial system, so to speak. And yet it got so much attention, so much pop culture jokes and Elon pumping it. And then on SNL, when he goes on SNL, it literally tumbles and dumps after he calls it a hustle. And I mean, I guess that's kind of what you get because he was the whole time he was saying, "It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke."
Yeah.
Well, it's a meme coin, so
it's a meme
joke.
coin. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You know.
But he started promoting it like it was real. That was what was kind of hard to understand.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I thought that was kind of not cool because there are so many people who listen to him and think what he knows a lot of what he's talking about, and so when he says something, they'll do what he says, and it's a shame that a lot of people may have gotten hurt on this Doge. That being said, I don't think this is the end of Doge. I mean, I'm sure.
Oh no, not at all.
There.
Don't die that quick.
No.
Yeah, no.
It's gonna continue to get a lot of support, and it'll consolidate, and it'll move like others with all the support it's getting. But yeah, that's not surprised.
We look like oracles on that one by consistently saying don't touch Doge. So.
I still wouldn't do it. What is your take on Doge, Jacob?
I don't touch Doge.
There you go.
I've been in other meme coins just to ride a pump, and the only reason why I got into them was just because I was new to crypto, you know. And I feel like that's how most people start off, is with a meme coin, or you know, like
sure,
it's kind of a rite of passage. You lose a little bit of money on a meme coin.
That makes sense. Some people may make it on a meme coin, but if you do, hopefully you made it and you took profit, and now you've learned about other cryptos.
So do you want to? Do you have any insight on, or do we want to talk about the flash crash? I don't. It's not a huge story, but Bitcoin and ETH, just these last few hours, they both have big red candles. I don't know if you have a chart in front of you, but
I don't have a chart in front of me, but something I usually like to look at whenever I look at like the flash crashes is like the on-chain data. I find that when you get to actually see the buys and sells and the volume that's coming in and out, you really get a better picture of how ETH wants to move and how the market sentiment is.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of our favorite crypto channels out there that you research with all the time, George, apparently an hour ago posted a video explaining in the last hour this flash crash.
He's a good source.
Welcome back to Crypto Soul.
I can pause that real quick, but there you can see the chart right there. Yeah. Boom. And he's a great resource for understanding, you know, when these things happen, going into the details.
Yep. He is. That's for sure. So yeah, if you're interested more about that, check out that link. We can put it in the comments. Should I do that? Put that in the comments?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
It's a good link. Good resource.
You guys want to touch base with Wise? Because I know Jacob is deep in it. You got the...
Yeah.
Oh! Nice,
Be
brother.
Wise.
Be wise. Be wise, dude. We got to get our site up and running, Ryan. So soon we'll have Wise be on Bitcoin back up, but man, I gotta just say, we've personal life, other things happening. We're keeping up with our beautiful streams to keep in touch with our crypto community. But reality is what got us in, and it's just a blessing to see the growth that the wise community and what's continue to go on. It's just exciting. I mean, what an awesome first few months.
It's my mind.
Not even the first year. I mean, we're talking. The working with Matic Rollup, working with Harmony, working with the leading smart contract platforms and cryptos in the market, Binance, running projects, doing it's really the work with the community and the team is what's made this so successful. And what I love about it is the fact that with all this going on, the pink elephant in the room is that, what is Wise? Well, let me take you to Uniswap and show you what hundreds of millions of dollars in locked liquidity means. That means when people are ready, and as more people are ready to come in and out, the barn doors are wide open. Come in, come out as you please, and don't let the door hit you. So it's cool. It's cool to see it happening. No founders, no developers that can upgrade the contract and tell you that you can't pull your money out or you can't move it here, you can't move it there. So I'm just, I'm really happy to we always know, but you never know when. It's like when you plant this, you don't know when it's going to sprout. And it's just really cool to see this just firing off. One of these days, we will have Peter. I know he's been busy, but we'll get Peter back on and do a stream just to catch up with everything he's doing. But just an homage to what Wise has done. I'm just going to have to check out the charts just real quick and just go look at the massive locked liquidity.
I don't want to spoil it, but it looks really good.
Oh man, I'm taking a look now.
And this is also my first time looking at Uniswap V3. Which,
oh yeah, V3 looks really nice.
I didn't find. I mean, go ahead. I couldn't find the Wise pair on V3. I had to go to V2.
Yeah, you do have to move over to V2 because Wise is actually on V2. It's not on V3.
Right.
Gotcha.
Here we go. V2 analytics. And now we're making it there. So this is also how you find it. And now you know. Let's go to pairs and see that pair. 8.45 billion on Uniswap. Jeez. Dang, number 3. Number three on Uniswap. That is
higher
awesome.
Than Uniswap, higher than ETH, higher than
hilarious.
Bitcoin.
Well, congratulations to the Wise community and Peter. What an awesome, massive success. We're talking about $433 million in liquidity. That's huge. That's beautiful. That's impressive. Very cool.
The fact that it's higher than any ETH stablecoin pair, any Bitcoin stablecoin pair, it just goes to show that the power of Wise having 100% of the profits come back to the users in the ecosystem, it's the future of crypto.
It's huge. It's moving. And right now, what this doesn't show, because this is Uniswap, but what this doesn't show is that most of the volume that's going on right now is actually going on with all the new growth on the Binance Smart Chain with Wise Binance, WiseB.
Right.
True.
Because there's... Now, I got to do a spoiler alert because Ryan and I have another project that we're going to talk about. And being that Dogecoin has tokenomics that we felt were, really inflationary and not the best to tell people to go run into. One of those projects we talked about last week, another project on Ethereum, a smart contract, is called the Shiba token. And it's Shiba Inu token. And it's actually kind of making fun of Doge. Doge is making fun of crypto. Well, this is making fun of Doge in a sense that it's a superior version and its tokenomics to compete with Dogecoin. And I just happen to be here and I just looked at this right now. I thought we all might appreciate this together. Look at the volume in the last 24 hours on the SHIB token right now. Holy smoke-a-toli. 996 million in volume. That's beautiful. 791% in fees, obviously with that much volume. Look, I mean, the fees you're hearing 2%, 0.83%, and then right now, if you're providing liquidity, 791%. So congratulations to Shiba Inu token liquidity providers. Good job. unless you're getting hit on a permanent loss. Pardon.
The number that put me out of my seat, or almost threw me out of my seat, was that over the week it's done 2,200%.
2,200%
in a week.
Oh my god! I have a friend who actually invested in that a week ago, and he was telling me about it, and that blows my mind. That
the Shiba. He was telling you about the Shiba Inu, the Shiba token.
Yeah, I don't invest in meme coins myself. I learned the hard way, so I just don't do it.
I know. I don't either. I don't, and I didn't get it. However, I was supportive of something that was meant to kind of combat projects that are built with bad tokenomics, and it does look like they're looking to really build NFTs. I mean, I really think that they're looking to build a rich, vibrant ecosystem, and there's a lot of potential behind this.
Isn't there a DEX they're coming out with?
I think they are. They're going to come out with a decentralized exchange. Let's see. There might be.
Oh, that's nice. They're burning tokens. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing the opposite of Doge. They're not hyperinflationary. They're hyper-deflationary.
Now, I read something recently about Doge that, I know I've heard the criticism, and I think I probably made it myself, repeating it, that Doge's supply function is almost infinite. But then I read another article saying that wasn't true, that there was a limit. Do either of you have any more insight into that, or should we maybe learn together? And I mean, what is the actual how much Doge is created, weekly or daily, or do we anybody really know?
I don't have the numbers in front of me now.
I'm gonna Google it while you guys are chatting.
Go ahead, Google it. I'll tell you what I do know is that it's not. It's one of those things where it starts out very high and then it slows down over time. From what I understand, that it doesn't maintain the same inflationary rate. That it starts decreasing over time.
Right. Okay.
That's what I understand from its tokenomics.
So it decays. The supply growth decays over time.
That's it. That's right.
Starts out really high.
That's right. And then over time it decays. So what does that mean as far as its long-term value and its supply? Like, does that mean that it has long-term potential? Because sometime down the road it will decay and slow down, but in the meantime
potentially because the getting a large supply means a lot of people can have it, right? So that creates a massive supply of it. It's potentially to be widely distributed, right? So you could have it could be a common medium. I think that's one of the criticisms that you hear about money, crypto being money, is that, okay, it's a good investment, but is it going to be a commonly held and spent medium?
Right.
And well, if it is, you're going to need to have a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think a big supply is just automatically, invalidates the tokenomics, but then it's all a question of relative. How big? How much? How much are you creating? What does it look like?
Right.
I don't know. It's going to need some research for sure.
And so by the way, here's the Shiba swap you're talking about. The DEX undergoing security tests. They've got art, NFTs. So Amazon Smile Shiba maybe. Oh, so simply using smile.amazon.com. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe there's some way you can
potentially way to spend your Shiba.
Oh, it's a charity. Maybe it's a charity.
Yeah, it looks like it's a charity to rescue Shibas.
Okay. Very cool. So that's neat that they're working on different stuff. So that's it, the Shiba Inu, and this thing has exploded. And I think we'll talk about it again because it does appear to have a vibrant community behind it, and that has a lot. Crypto is about a lot of things. About markets in general are about the communities and the network effects that come about that. So very cool, very cool. What's next on the docket?
Well, ETH today is a big ETH day. We all-time high. So why don't we talk about the Rary Capital ETH pool exploit? Do you have that article up?
I do. It's next. Boom. Let's start at the top. Rary Capital reports exploit in ETH pool. 15 million taken. So,
ouch.
Now we read about these all the time, and you've never heard us read an article that says Wise token liquidity hacked for another 10 million. The funny thing is that this is one of those benefits where you see smart contracts that can't be upgraded and that they're audited and they're complete. You don't have to worry about these exploits and these bugs. So it's now that being said, Rary Capital, I'm not sure what they're I don't know enough of what they are. Are they stable coin? No, it's a governance token.
They have a governance token. Yeah, that's about as far as I know.
Okay.
RGT.
I mean, having a governance token, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, a lot of things have a governance token. It's just a way. So, but 15 million worth of ETH was taken, and the price just dropped more than 50%.
Right.
So the story is still developing. We'll know more later, but this is the risk. This is the risk when you get into crypto and you see all these projects like Dogecoin or like Shiba taking off 100, 200, 300%, 1,000%. Many of these projects are so young, they're so new, and they're so unfinished that there's a lot of high risk out there of hacks. Even happening to good projects that could have bugs that get exploited and then they patch over it. So just because something happens to it doesn't mean that the project is bad. Okay.
Right.
So
that's exactly right. I mean, look at But then look at Paid Network. They had.
Oh yeah, they had a big hack too.
And they came and they bounced back and continue to do great work in what they're doing. So it's one of those things.
You know who else did that? Did you guys know that Polkadot had a big hack in the early days?
No,
I didn't know about that.
I did not. I did not know that.
Yeah, Polkadot originally had its, I think, almost its entire reserve pool taken.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they bounced back from it too.
What did they? I wonder what they did, because ETH and ETH Classic did that fork so that they could just patch over it. And I'll do some research, but thank you for sharing that. I did not know about that with Polkadot, so I'll definitely look into that. Cardano has made another solid move and is getting a lot of attention. So yeah, I definitely would say that this of the top 10 in the coin market cap, if you're new to crypto, and I'm talking like blue chip, keep it simple, no high risk. But between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Cardano.
Definitely ADA.
Definitely Cardano. I know that there's a lot of good things to still have with Ripple. I'm not a fan. Polkadot, I am a fan. I'm also a fan. I am also a fan of Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. I'm a fan of those. I'm not a maximalist. I love crypto tech. It's like when you go into a TV entertainment store, don't you see like a bunch of different television companies? Not just one company. You see like different companies making televisions, and they're all making flat screens and LEDs. Like I could see a lot, but Bitcoin Cash continues with Roger. They continue not only to serve as a functional medium of exchange in crypto land for low transaction fees. That I know people who use it all the time. So it's great that as a community that can actually have something that can be used. But smart contracts and looking to build layers on top of it. So it's just cool. I mean, if you want to go into this market with an open mind, an open eye, and an open heart, definitely don't be a maximalist. It's good to be involved with the communities, but don't be so involved with the community that you become blinded and have vitriol towards anything that doesn't serve, that community purpose. Because we're so early in this technology, there's a good chance that only one or two of these will be in the top 10 5 years from now or 2 years from now. Who knows? So it's just exciting when you see projects that have active communities and teams that are building value on those networks. That's what excites me when I see continued development and layers being built, which is why I'll have to do a video dedicated to Wise again to catch up, because it's almost one of the most dynamic and innovative smart contracts out there with what you can do with Wise already. How many different protocols it's connected to. But before I get on that tangent, we've got Litecoin. I would hold that. They're working with Mimblewimble for anonymous transactions. They're another fast payment network.
Now that you bring up Litecoin, I just saw a video a few hours ago about how it had just broke out of a long-term kind of it just broke through a point of resistance that it had been unable to get past for, I think, going back to like 2017. So it's broken through that, and very bullish signs for Litecoin. So I mean, it's almost $360, but
oh my gosh,
why? That's a significant. That's what, if not the high, or near the highs for Litecoin. But it looks poised to go well beyond that, especially with what you're saying. With the
brother, I just saw what you were talking about. I mean, I heard what you were saying, but sometimes you hear it and you don't hear it, right? As I scroll down the market cap, I've been busy. I've been running around. Look at this. Shiba Inu is number 14.
Yeah, it just popped up out of nowhere. 130% today.
Oh my! I mean, I knew it was growing but I didn't know it had already gotten so high up in market cap. That's amazing.
I'm planning on buying some after we get off this live stream.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That's cool. That's real cool. Well,
why not?
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. If I had to choose, now I'm also a fan of Ethereum and smart contracts. Okay, that's a bias. And but however, if I had to choose between Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, I'd buy Shiba Inu all day long right now, all day long.
Just based off of reading the short read we went through of how the tokenomics work,
yeah,
I would get it over Doge. That's just my preference.
Yeah. And look, also because it's on Ethereum, unlike Doge, which is just meme only, this literally is a community that's building a DEX. It's not just a joke. They're like saying, no, we're going to actually create something of value on Ethereum that can be used with this token. So it has utility. It already has utility in a community of talented developers. That's what's around Shiba Inu. It's got a bunch of Ethereum developers that are like, okay, let's put something together.
The Doge killer.
Well, I guess there's a lot of people who develop on Solidity these days. I'm not sure.
I don't know if you want to talk about it now or later, but this deal with ETH, and I don't know about Jacob. Have you heard about the miner extractable value problem with ETH? Does this ring any bells?
I've heard about it. I don't mind ETH, or at least I haven't since a long time ago. So I'll be honest, everything other than hash rate is just kind of over my head when it comes to mining at this point.
Sure.
This is a problem not for miners. It's a problem for everybody who has ETH.
You'll appreciate this. Yeah, it's something that miners can do that affect. And I've read about this happening on. And Ryan, you explained this to me earlier when we were talking about this, but I knew that this was being used against people on Uniswap for as an AMM. However, I didn't really put it together that this is more than just Uniswap. I thought it was a Uniswap issue, and this is really an Ethereum issue. Right. And so I'll let Ryan explain what this issue is. So
let's have the article up so everybody can.
I've got it up right now.
Cool. So essentially, what's going on here is if you go to the first, I think it's the second paragraph, it kind of captures the whole thing. But the consensus process basically of Ethereum basically makes it to where each block is chosen by just one single miner. So miners who are successfully mining a block, they can insert a strategy into the block that'll basically create extra slippage, or they'll make it to where they can front run a transaction. So here's an example: you buy something. If you scroll down, it goes through this this example. But imagine that, where is it at? Well, front running. The basic idea of front running is that you want to buy something for $50. You try to buy it, and the bot sees your transaction, front runs it for the same price, and then in the block, you end up buying it for the maximum bid you put in, and it sells it to you and captures the difference as a profit. So it's a slippage or scalping. It's a strategy to separate you from your coins, you know. And here's where this article gets interesting. It talks about what the cost of this value exploit would be if when ETH grows into its long-term value, and they did some calculations, and it came out to be $2 trillion a year potentially. It could be taken a year, which that's significant. That's a lot of money.
Oh,
so
man.
it's.
Yeah. This is possible when it moves to a proof of stake too?
No.
Or will this be?
I don't think so. I think good point.
Probably not.
No, because the miners will be gone. I think when you move to proof of stake, that will be gone.
Okay. Because I do remember reading about this and how moving to a proof of stake, because it's MVE is what it's like abbreviated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I did read about this a little bit, but like I said, when it comes to like mining, I usually skim through just because I don't mine Ethereum. It's too much hardware and upfront cost for me, at least.
Yep. Yeah, I think the POS, the switching to proof of stake, is that we'll do some more research, but I would imagine that would solve the problem.
Yep, that should eliminate that because there won't be mining.
But the question is will this pop up in other ways? This article is interesting. It talks about how this could be built in as a design and building new protocols rather than being an accident like it is in the Ethereum design. This could end up becoming like a feature and rather than a bug. So it's something to keep an eye out. And it says for layer 2 innovations, this sort of thing could actually be incorporated, almost like what you're saying, Lucas, with Uniswap.
Right. However, my feeling is that since people are aware of it, all it takes is someone to develop one that doesn't have it to take over market share. I mean, it's like if you can build it purposely with the bug, you can also build it purposely without it, knowing it, and then So I think this is kind of those things that where you see that in the early Wild West of a market where you've got so much innovation, it's so new. I think we'll be like sitting back, because these things grow so fast, these markets change, they're so dynamic. We'll be looking back in 2 years or in 5 years or in 10, a few years, being like, man, you remember those days back when you could mine Ethereum? Oh yeah, and the miners be like, yeah, you could even build in slippage, and on every trade you can extract a little bit of ETH on every one. I'm sure there's guys with computers talking about the good old days when they were just basically just raking up free Ethereum off of the the bug.
The noobs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, back when you could mine Bitcoin from a computer.
Yeah, exactly. Hilarious, man. But speaking of that, times are different now. I think the world is more awake and aware of cryptocurrency technology. But I still would say if you're new to crypto, it's still important to know that the market's young and not to be disheartened when the big corrections do take place, because they happen all the time. And in the past, if you were a Bitcoin holder, most likely you threw away your computer, you threw away your keys, you never thought it'd be valuable, you thought you missed it, because there were so many times that Bitcoin dumped 80%, 90% after an all-time high and stayed that way for a year, 2, sometimes 3. And most people don't think, oh, okay, it's coming back and it's going to be better than ever. Most market psychology, when they talk about paper hands or weak hands, it's just human nature. Most people are going to move on and feel like they messed up and missed out and missed on the peak. So that's why when you can see projects where you can stake it and leave it alone for a year, 2 or 3 years, that's, I feel, the most solid way to go into these new techs is to set it and forget it. And this is not financial advice, but I'm also not into day trading or a trader. It's more about education and supporting those projects that you want to learn about and be a part of, because these are years in the making. A lot of these projects are still years in the making.
Right. To speak more on that point, the way you build generational wealth is through compounding interest. And so my look at investing into crypto is, how can I create that generational wealth? I don't want to day trade. I want to be able to create wealth for my family in the future.
Right.
Exactly.
And day trading strategies, that they are profitable for a time, and then things switch. It's gambling. It's just refined gambling, and I feel like the odds are eventually going to catch up with you. Whereas if you're to what you're saying with the compounding effect of interest, that's not, you don't have to worry about luck, or it magically works. You just have to be patient.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason why I love Wise, is because of the amount of Wise and ETH I'm earning from liquidity pool providing, on top of the quick swap rewards, on top of even with the Viper swap, you can provide liquidity on the ETH Wise pair on Viper swap, and I think it's 500% APR right now. Like it's insane.
That's just amazing.
That's awesome. It would have been nice had I done this, but I've just been so much going on, personal life and working and catching up with crypto. But I would say, wouldn't it be a cool project to see? Wise is such a rich ecosystem of DeFi that we literally could look at a portfolio of all the different ways you can invest in Wise and see how that's performing. The Wise quick swap, Wise Viper swap rewards, because people are like, right now, if you have Wise ETH, you can literally go earn free rewards. I mean, basically benefits for providing liquidity to these early exchanges. and they're there for the taking for those early providers. So it's that first come first serve that's happening all over crypto right now. If you are there to partake and provide value and liquidity, then you're there to earn the benefits and the fees that come from those exchanges. So I mean, it's just cool that one token has so many different ways you can earn with it already. And it hasn't even introduced the most valuable part that's coming later this year is when they start popping out lending and borrowing.
That's gonna be great.
And they're gonna do it on Binance too.
What I think's crazy is you're gonna be able to earn interest on a leveraged position. That's insane to me. The amount of value that can be extracted from that is just ridiculous.
Yeah. We're getting into the kind of tricks and opportunities you see with rehypothecation in the securitization derivatives markets, where they are able to do what you're saying. They take leveraged positions and then pledge them as collateral, and then take other positions out and earn interest. And there's credit swaps and all these different ways of getting interest. And it's crypto is. My point is that crypto is finally replicating these things and making it possible for the individual to do similar strategies that beforehand would be available only to the people who have hedge funds or massive amounts of money. So it's pretty cool.
I think a couple of the more interesting things that I think that Wise is going to be doing is I had the chance to talk to Peter in an AMA a little while back, and they were talking about possibly using Wise to be able to integrate with another company that allows for health insurance. So you could use your health insurance as collateral with Wise. Wow. That blew my mind too. Like the amount of ecosystems that Wise is reaching out to, not just already built in the Ethereum, already built in the Binance Smart Chain, but also all of the major top 20 layer 1 solutions that they're partnered with it already. Like they're going to be building there. And I think that Wise is going to be a hot commodity in the coming future this year. I think it's going to be something that people take a look at.
I agree. There's way too much support in the community and with the team continued off of the successful launch and no hiccups and continued growth and building layers with cross-chain compatibility. I mean, the fact that you've got Wise Harmony One, you've got Wise Binance, you've got Wise ETH, and that they're working to build rewards programs that buy back the lower value. I mean, this is really the beginning of some amazing.
How about the fact that they have the only, I don't even know of any other project with actual backing, ownerless liquidity backing it.
I don't know.
Is there any other crypto? I mean, Wise truly it stands alone in the crypto space.
It is, and it's doing its thing. What's cool is it's a sleeping giant, a sleeping dragon. Because as these other value-added layers are built, what you have is a foundation of massive liquidity. That's just so huge to me when people don't understand the importance of massive liquidity. Because when people want to run in or run out, it's how big that window is makes a huge difference.
It matters.
Speaking of liquidity, did you know that Wise is the only token in existence where its liquidity is twice its market cap? That I seen a tweet because of Devin Marty, and blew my mind. I had to retweet it just right then and there.
Definite room for growth.
Big time.
Exactly. So there's room for it to catch up. So I have another article that's pulled up that I want to make sure we get to real quick, and this is about Kava Labs reveals the first production-ready cross-chain liquidity hub for decentralized finance. If that's not a mouthful. Let me read this again. It will reportedly be the first production-ready cross-chain liquidity hub for all DeFi applications and services. Let's see. It aims to become. I've literally read the same sentence 3 times. Look, and it aims to be the first production-ready. Okay. Anyway, by design, CavaSwap will enable the aggregation of capital and the deployment across many different blockchains. Okay, an AMM protocol that gives users a method of swapping assets on different blockchains. That's awesome.
Cross-chain AMM.
A cross-chain, a Uniswap for different. That's huge.
Maybe like Kava. So that sounds like to me.
Huge. But wait, I thought this was the same article about were we planning on talking about this? We were, right? Yes, you pulled this up. Man.
Yes.
Good article. Good find, Ryan. Good find, brother. This is huge. Now, I'm curious to know how many other people are going to try to come up with cross-chain dexes as well. It's like basically a blockchain dex or of a sort.
Right. Well, it has to be.
That's awesome.
I do know of one that's aiming to do that, but they haven't met all of their goalposts yet. I'm for spacing on the word.
The roadmap, right?
Roadmap. That's I guess there's Zor, which on the Zor ecosystem they have what's called P-swap, which eventually will be able to swap across multiple different blockchains. But at the moment, it's just swapping from Ethereum to the Zor network.
Okay. Yeah. And that's ZOR or
XOR.
XOR is the Sora, SORA, right? The Sora token, XOR,
yeah. I'm a fan of Zorro, so my mind just went to Zorro.
Me too. Grew up heavy into Zorro. Let's see. So, that's that on Kava. There was another article we were going to talk about, but before we do, we had Pirate Chain pulled up.
We got to talk about Pirate Chain.
We got to talk about Pirate Chain. That's true.
21% just today, I believe, is what it is. Yeah. Pretty wild. Weekly, it's done 38%. Monthly.
Here, I'll look it up. real quick.
It's the monthly return. 727% over the last month.
So I'm not familiar with Pirate Chain. Do you guys mind giving me like
privacy project?
I'm going to tell you the ticker is R, ARRR, and it's leading. It's pretty cool. They're very serious about privacy. They're a serious protocol for private transactions. They're hybrid proof of work. So they're very secure. They pride themselves on hyper security and protecting anonymity for transactions.
It says it's the best of Zcash combined with the best of Monero, secured by Komodo's delayed proof of work.
That's it. Delayed proof of work. Yep.
I really love these privacy projects. They're really interesting.
And I'm going to say that they're I feel that, and I've heard someone else talk about this before, but it's going to be like DeFi is popular, different fads become popular at different times. NFTs are popular, and I feel that there will be a time when people recognize that privacy is important in crypto, because so many people don't know what crypto is, and so many people falsely assume that Bitcoin and crypto is used for nefarious purposes or for something. It's like, no. Bitcoin and crypto is a decentralized public ledger that anyone and everyone can see every transaction that's ever been made. So there's nothing about it that protects privacy for people in common everyday exchanges. However, now that people are aware of how this works, the more they learn about crypto, then they're going to start to say, well, what exists out there that allows us to take Bitcoin or Ethereum or a token of value and move on to a blockchain that allows us to take that value and still have the benefits of knowing it can't be counterfeited, it can't be inflated, that it's still secure, it's the network is secure, but that you can transact without the world being able to watch your transactions or your neighbor's transactions. So I think that while we're seeing a pump here with Pirate Chain, I definitely feel that the privacy chain ecosystem still has probably, maybe not this year, maybe next year, but at some point in time, there will be a privacy coin pump that a lot of
it's going to be a big catalyst to that. The coming capital gains tax increase. It's like 38% or something for the top bracket. So, and a lot of crypto millionaires are going to fall into that space. So,
yeah.
Now that isn't that a shame? Think about that. Think about this. Human men and women are supporting a brand new technology that people that are working in positions of government don't even understand. In fact, they're making money by promoting a different by being in control of money that everyone's using.
Yeah.
They're literally in charge of money. You have people that are making money that are being in charge of other people, being in charge of money that everyone has to use by law. And now there are people that have taken their own energy and hard-earned money, whatever they did, and they took a risk into these new ecosystems to help build out a new technology that belongs to everyone around the world. No man or woman has a right to tell another one how to use crypto as much as who can start a campfire and warm themselves. So this technology, it's about what makes it okay for a class that has been in control of money to extort or extract or all of a sudden say, hey, there's this new ecosystem that you have built and is valuable, and now that it's valuable, well, you owe us. Well, wait, it's like that would be like if the horse and buggy industry, the automobile industry started doing so well. This is exactly what it's like. This is a perfect analogy. You want to know a perfect analogy? I got it right here. The horse and buggy industry is being overtaken by the automobile industry. Now, the automobile industry had nothing to do with all the guys running the horse and buggy Senate, but they see how successful this automobile industry is, and that the people in the automobile industry, they don't need the horse and buggy people. So they say, okay. Well, we'll let you use these automobiles, but you're going to have to. You're doing so much more than the horse and buggy business. Since you're doing so much more business than the horse and buggies, you're going to have to pay us an extra big portion off of your trucks. We definitely need.
We're going to give it to the horse and buggy guys.
And we're going to give it to the horse and buggy guys. We're going to take 50% of all the extra produce and all the extra you can move through this trucking and automobile industry. We're going to make you pay it to the horse and buggy industry. That's basically what's going on. You're having an older legacy institution, and the people that work for that institution find a way to penalize and tax and to take value away from a new industry that needs them not. So I'm excited about people like Andreas Antonopoulos and all those that work really hard, BitBoy, to promote education and teach people, because this is about knowledge. This is knowledge for everyone all over the world to decide how we use this together.
It's about it's also not about just investing. It's about how we live together in the future.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I to speak more on that, I personally believe that we're going to see a big shift in the coming future away from physical and fiat money and more into blockchain and crypto. I truly do think that blockchain is going to give fiat a run for its money, but I think that something's going to continue to happen is we have these large propped up institutions that are going to be trying to funnel money out of crypto into these institutions through any legal means that they can.
Yeah.
It's their way to combat the growing power that crypto has in this space.
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
And you already see it to some extent with the way Wall Street is moving into the space and creating, products for their investors to take a position. They don't actually get to buy Bitcoin, but they can take a position.
No. You can take a position, but it's not your keys if it's not your crypto.
Exactly.
That's true.
So
you want to wrap it up, Lucas, on that one article that we've already kind of skirted into it.
What about the Kevin O'Leary cryptocurrency I don't own random ETFs with blood coin in them? We got to talk about that. Okay. We can go a little over.
This tool bag right here. Yeah, I'll summarize it.
Come on. First of all, he is against crypto. Then he's jumping on the bandwagon. Now he's now he's telling everyone how great crypto is. And now he's an evangelist that says, but I only support the clean crypto. I would never put What's funny about this is this guy has made a living off of being this cutthroat investor that's all about making money and being a shark and just caring about profits, and is literally made.
Now he's ethical.
And now he's ethical. Now he's like, now I don't mind crypto, but it's gotta be a clean crypto. Meanwhile, he's like buying diamonds and selling.
What even is a clean crypto? Because
what do you mean?
Like I always hate that argument because fiat is the largest, most.
Yeah.
If you look at fraud,
right.
Where does fraud happen? It happens in fiat.
Right.
It mostly happens in fiat. So the argument that there's no clean crypto, well, there's no clean fiat.
How about war and the prison state and the police state and all the massive amounts of just violence that is done to people?
And it's not people voting saying, you know what, we all agree to be really, really violent. It's literally saying we're going to print $1 trillion that you depend upon to feed your families. And we're going to give it to these industries that are building these things. And if you want to make money, then you better get a job at these industries. So people have to get a job at those industries so they can get access to the money that's printed out. They have to pay for. So it's not like people are saying with their own hard-earned dollars that they earn, I really want to spend my money on these institutions. Yeah. It's like, no, those institutions are
their only option.
It's their only option.
Yeah. Well, how do you be the best how do you be the best at something? Be the only one. Mm-hmm. Be the only one. And to speak a little bit on that, I do think that that's going to be their goal. Is fiat is going to try to fight crypto by being the only monetary system.
I think they're going to co-opt it with their own digital. They're going to create.
Oh yeah. Like what China's doing with the digital yen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's saying that he won't buy any Bitcoin that he can't track the source of it to a non-Chinese miner, right? So yeah, it's the blood diamond argument with the diamonds that are mined with slaves or.
When I was growing up, they called that racism.
Yeah, well, I can see that there is definitely a racist element to it.
I don't buy Bitcoin that was mined in China. Well, why not? What about Texas or Oklahoma or Canada?
He calls it blood coin. He calls them blood coins, but I think to your point, it might be more accurate if he would just refer to them as yellow coins. Because there does seem to be an underlying, racial element to that.
Absolutely.
But I think easily make the case that, hey, I don't support the Chinese government. They do uniquely awful things. Just like you can say about the guy.
Wait. Time out.
But the miners aren't.
I hear you. I agree with you, but I'm just going to say, having been in the U.S. military, spent a lot of time studying military history as a youngin' in military school, I will tell you that anyone who understands United States history understands that the United States has had one of the largest military industrial complexes that the world has seen in a long time. So when you talk about not wanting to support a country because of blood money, I mean...
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm just saying, people may be upset with, I don't know what goes on in China's closed boundary because they seem to be pretty, closed off to the world. However, a case can be made by families and people that actually live all over the world that U.S. dollars are actually blood money, and anything funded by U.S. dollars are blood money because those are the dollars that are funding the wars. They're dropping bombs on their children and their families.
So what I would say is, I would agree with you, Mr. O'Leary, that it's not good to support ethical or unethical regimes or systems, right? And you should try to use your money in the most ethical way. But if that's the standard that we're applying to our investments, then you can't be critical of Bitcoin, not be critical of the dollar.
Right.
Right. It's just because it falls victim to the same criticism.
Sure.
And if not
worse, way worse, way worse.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he may even have a writer. I don't even know if he even has his own views or if he has someone writing it for him because they're so surface. I almost don't even believe. I think Kevin O'Leary must have someone writing for him, telling him like a politician what his latest view is. I just
But
don't.
see, I think the most interesting thing that about this and this whole narrative is just that it's followed Bitcoin as this kind of it's followed cryptocurrency as a whole, but in general, if we look back at the last bull cycle, what did we hear? Oh, that person's investing in Bitcoin. They're going to lose all their money. I can't wait. Blah, blah, blah. This, that. Bitcoin is used for all these terrible things. It was a meme in pop culture. And now it's, oh, well, Bitcoin's this future technology. Bitcoin is this. The truth is, if people don't understand a technology, their understanding of the technology isn't there. And I feel with crypto, a lot of it is a lack of education. And it's really what I love about you guys is you weren't sitting here talking about, oh, well, this is why XYZ is blood money. No, we're talking economics. We're talking real world theory. We're talking what's happening now in crypto. And it's so much different than these games of, well, what if Bitcoin hits zero? Or what if Bitcoin has a hack? What if XYZ? Well, what if the US dollar loses all its value?
Right. Yeah, that's probably more likely outcome.
Oh, yeah.
The old quote that all fiat currencies eventually converge to zero.
that is a truth.
On another note, gold.
That's hilarious.
Really climbing lately. It's not like Pirate Coin or Pirate Chain or any of the other crypto projects, but gold has been on a tear. It just broke into the 1830s from about 1680, 1700 in March all the way. So it's when I'm bringing this up is to say that the markets are and also not just gold. You see it in price of food and a lot of other things.
Commodities in general, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Inflation is starting to rear its head. With all the money that we've been creating, the debts and all that, all these years, it's starting to have an impact.
And we know it's going to happen. You can't expect that much money to be printed and prices to just not change.
Right. Yeah.
At all, ever.
That's definitely bullish. If you're thinking about crypto as a safe haven to protect yourself from inflation.
Absolutely. Not just for the utility, but just for the inflation protection. That being said, we're about to bounce out. I know we were a little over time. Hey, Jacob, thank you for jumping on, brother, last minute.
No problem.
Thanks, Jacob.
And I guess I just pulled up an article real quick. So MakerDAO, they've got a great the DAI. I'm pretty sure they're behind the DAI, which is a stable coin based in ETH, and they're doing a lot. They're decentralized, protocol, and now they're getting into real estate and other work. So the idea is that MakerDAO might be coming into issues with regulators pretty soon, like what we saw with Ripple and the SEC. I don't know the details of what this is about. However, it'd be interesting to see what comes of this. I'm always, I think, like they say, buy the rumor, sell the news. I would feel that if there is some news that does a price shock that drops down, I would jump right in on that, because these are one of those protocols in cryptocurrency that have strong communities, a lot of development, and I feel they have definitely a future in crypto. So
yes, for sure. And I think I was reading this article, or I looked through it a little bit earlier, and I saw what you said about the potential to run into regulatory issues with the real estate market, because that's one of the most heavily regulated markets there is.
Oh, I see it now. It's for the loans. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the loaning side of it. Yep.
Being used to buy real estate. Huge. That's so beautiful. I love seeing it. I love seeing the decentralized finance aspect of cryptocurrency.
When you combine MakerDAO and your mortgage when you use DeFi to handle your mortgage, and then you use NFTs to do the deed.
Do you still need how much do you really need title companies anymore?
And what about jurisdictional issues? Who's to say you actually do are you contracted with the local property tax regime? I mean, how does all that work, right? All these issues come up.
This is definitely the beginning of a lot of interesting conversations to have on our next live stream.
Yep, indeed.
And I'm sure a lot will be to talk about over the next week. Thank you all for joining us. Happy Moon Day. It's a beautiful spring. It's a beautiful year in crypto. And we look forward to sharing more with you. Thank you again, Jacob, for jumping on, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Anytime.
That's what this is about.
It's always a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, I look forward. We'll have you on a lot more, and I look forward to your channel being built out as our website gets built out too. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff if you enjoy your crypto education. And I suppose I will say until the next time, have a beautiful day and namaste. And on that, I'll let Ryan take you out.
Okay. Thanks for spending your Monday night with us. We'll be back next week. More news, more analysis. Hopefully Jacob will be with us. And thank you.
Bam, y'all.